Hello. Today we're going to talk about Isaiah chapter 11. This topic is going to be on Yahushua, who Christians call Jesus. And we're going to see Orthodox rabbis claim this chapter proves that Yahushua could not have been the Messiah. And so today's video, I'm going to start doing some teachings on Yahushua. Most of my videos have been on the Father in the Old Testament and ciphers and things like that. And now it's time to start going into the New Testament. We have a lot of problems, gargantuan problems with the New Testament, but it is manageable to break them down and understand it. And so before we can do that, we need to identify, was he really the Messiah? You have many that say he was and is, and you have many that say no, he's not. We are still waiting. And the ones who say he is, we are not, he was not, and we are still waiting. They use this chapter. They use different chapters, several different ones. I'm going to do videos on 2 or 3 of them, and this is the first one. This is a huge one that they will use. They claim that Isaiah 11 proves that Yahushua could not have been the Messiah. And so we're going to read this, and we're going to break it down in its context, in its true context, and see what the scripture is actually saying. They claim that there is some descriptions in this prophecy which prove that Yahushua cannot be the Messiah because these things did not come to pass. And so let's just dive right into it. And we're going to go into a few books to prove our case, because I am one that says he is the Messiah. He was the Messiah. And the scriptures bear record of it. I don't believe it just to believe it. The scriptures bear record of it. And so here we go. It says, "And there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots." And so a rod shall come forth out of the stem of Jesse. Jesse was the father of David. And so this stem is going to come out of Jesse, and that's David. And a branch shall grow out of his roots. This is going to be the Messiah, whom we know to be Yahushua. So far, we're right on. "And the spirit of Yahuwah shall rest upon him, the spirit of wisdom and understanding, the spirit of counsel and might, the spirit of knowledge and the fear of Yahuwah." Absolutely, the Spirit descended upon him. John bore record of it. He had wisdom and understanding. It's amazing how much wisdom and understanding Yahushua had. He had the spirit of counsel and might. I mean, he was able to do mighty things with the Father. The spirit of knowledge and the fear of Yahuwah, to hate the evil way. The beginning of all wisdom is the fear of Yahuwah. You cannot obtain wisdom without that. And so far, this is describing Yahushua. And there's many things that like the Orthodox rabbi will use as far as like blood lineage. And we're going to get into that in another video. The Christianity, Rome, at the beginning in 300 AD, made a lot of, did a lot of things. And so we have a lot of false teaching going on. And it just needs to be corrected. And so this is the only way to do it. A lie does not like to be inspected. A lie does not like to be scrutinized. A lie does not like to be wrestled with. The truth likes to be wrestled with, likes to be inspected, likes to be tested. That's why he calls them Israel, he who wrestles with Elohim. So let's do it. So far, we're good. "And shall make him of quick understanding in the fear of Yahuwah. And he shall not judge after the sight of his eyes, neither reprove that by the hearing of his ears." That's exactly what Yahushua claimed. He claimed he does not do his own will. He does the will of the Father. He does not judge off his own will. He judges off the will of the Father. We saw that with the woman that they wanted him to stone her. It's not his judgment, it's the Father's judgment. And that's what he came to do. So far, we're good. "But with righteousness he shall judge the poor, and reprove with equity for the meek of the earth." With righteousness in the commandments. You cannot be righteous without the commandments. Therefore, this is the commandments. With righteousness within the commandments he shall judge the poor, and reprove with equity for the meek of the earth. And he shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips shall he slay the wicked. When he came, it was not his words that he was speaking. The Father put his words in his mouth. Therefore, it is the Father speaking. He's speaking the Father's words. And it is with that rod is authority. That authority came out of here. So he's speaking these words of the Father with authority. And those words will slay the wicked. When it's all said and done, the wicked are done. And righteousness shall be the girdle of his loins, and faithfulness the girdle of his reins. So once again, righteousness is the girdle of his loins, the commandments. The commandments is your righteousness. Deuteronomy. Shall be the girdle of his loins, and faithfulness the girdle of his reins. He is faithful. He was faithful to the Father all the way to the end. He loved him with all his heart. Here we go. This is where they say he did not fulfill this. This was not fulfilled, they say. The wolf also shall dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the kid, and the calf with the young lion, and the fatling together, and a little child shall lead them. And the cow and the bear shall feed, their young ones shall lie down together, and the lion shall eat straw like the ox. And the suckling child shall play on the hole of the asp, and the weaned child shall put his hand on the cockatrice's den. They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain, for the earth shall be full of the knowledge of Yahuwah as the waters cover the sea. And they say, that's it. That has not happened. The knowledge of Yahuwah has not covered the sea. It's covered the earth like the sea. You have all these, a wolf and a lamb laying together. That would never happen. Well, it's happening here. So, obviously, he could not have been the Messiah, because whoever this is that's being described is going to make this happen. And that's what they're saying. Is that true? No, that's not what this is describing. This is describing Gentiles. And we're about to see this when we read further. It's describing Gentiles, and what he's saying is before this, Gentiles and the children of Israel didn't dwell together. The children of Israel shunned them. They looked at them as being polluted. It wasn't 100%. Of course you had, here and there. But for the most part, if you were a Gentile, they would not eat with you. Those types of things, they looked at you as polluted and pushed you out of the way. They were the chosen people. And what's being said here is it's no longer going to be like that. They're going to dwell together. They'll all be together. They won't realize that they're actually opposites. If you're of the children of Israel, if you're of the Father and you're in the commandments, and heathen are not of the Father and they're not in the commandments, so they're opposites. And that's what he's describing here. And the child shall put his hand on the cockatrice's den, on the snake's den, and not realize that he's in any danger. We don't realize that we're dwelling amongst each other, that we're opposites dwelling amongst each other, heathen and believers dwelling together. And that is what this is saying. For the earth shall be full of the knowledge of Yahuwah as the waters cover the sea. I contend it's not so much the knowledge of Yahuwah, but the Messiah that's coming in. That's what this is all about. What he's going to do in this work, and what it's going to cause. It's going to cause everybody to come together and dwell together. And they shall not hurt in all of my holy mountain, just as it says, the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. That's when he gave the authority to Peter. So there's no way you can hurt this. Even though we're dwelling together, it's not, even though you got heathen mixed in with the children of Israel, it is not going to hurt or destroy his kingdom, his holy mountain. For the earth shall be full of the knowledge of Yahuwah, or his anointed one, the Messiah, as the waters cover the sea. Now there's a huge difference between knowledge and understanding and wisdom. You see that up here. He was given the spirit of wisdom and understanding, and the spirit of knowledge. Down here, it just says that they have the knowledge of him as the waters cover the sea. The message of Yahushua, who Christians call Jesus, has covered the whole world. They got missionaries all over the world, have for a long, long time, 2,000 years. We've been preaching. And the message has been tainted, and now you have all these false doctrines, thousands of them. But The knowledge of him, the awareness of him has covered the earth as the waters cover the sea. No doubt about it. So the knowledge, the awareness of him, that has happened. And in that day there shall be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for an insignia of the people. To it shall the Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be glorious. See, the Gentiles, they're going to come and dwell with amongst the children of Israel, and they're supposed to be seeking him. They're not resting. It's Yahushua's rest, and his rest shall be glorious. So Yahushua is now resting and has been for 2,000 years. The Gentiles are supposed to be seeking, and the children of Israel are amongst them, who have had the light for thousands of years. Yahushua is shining the light on a much deeper level. And that is what this chapter is telling you. It's actually describing Yahushua's work and the Gentiles being called in. This is when Cornelius was preached to by Peter and the Ruach fell on them. And that's the beginning of the Gentiles being brought forth and dwelling together. Like what you see here, opposites. Okay? And it shall come to pass in that day that Yahuwah shall set his hand again the second time. Here we go. You see, this was the first time. And this has all happened. That man has come forth. He did all this work. And this is happening. We are dwelling together. So all this has taken place. The knowledge, the awareness of him is all over the world. All this has taken place. He is an insignia of the people. The Gentiles are supposed to be seeking him, and he is resting. That is right now. And then he says he's going to do his hand a second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the islands of the sea. And he shall set up an insignia for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. He's going to set his hand a second time, and he's setting up another sign, another insignia. But this one isn't of the people. This one's for the nations. It's the Ark of the Covenant. And that ark is going to gather the outcasts of Israel from all over the earth. And where are we hearing this? The man that he's talking about here, that we know to be Yahushua, that same one spoke about this. And so all we got to do is go to John. Bear with me. So we're in John here. And this is John chapter 10, verse 15. The Father knoweth me. This is Yahushua speaking. The Father knoweth me, even so know I the Father. And I lay down my life for the sheep. And other sheep I have, which are not of this fold. Them also I must bring, and they shall hear my voice. And there shall be one fold and one shepherd. This is what he's talking about, the gathering of his people. I have another fold. It's the outcasts. It's the ones that were dispersed all over the earth when the Assyrian army came in. And the Father makes it very clear, I'm going to gather these people. And this is the second time he's going to do it with the Ark of the Covenant. So if that is true, then we know if he has set his hand a second time, and we can see that manifesting right now, then that means the first time he laid his hand, it has already happened. The Messiah has come. They didn't understand him. We don't understand it. But he came. He had to have. Because this second time is playing out now. He teaches about the wolf and the lamb laying together too. You see, Yahushua taught on just a much deeper level, and people don't correlate the two together. But we just read in Isaiah 11 that this Messiah is going to come, and they're describing him, and then they say that that these opposites are going to dwell together. And watch what Yahushua teaches. Another parable. This is Matthew chapter 13, verse 24. Another parable put he forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man which sowed good seed in his field. But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat and went his way. This is when the good seed was given to the people. The apostles were laying the good seed. After Yahushua left, he taught and they gave it to the rest of the people. And then the enemy came with Paul and began to sow bad seeds while they slept. But when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also. So the servants of the household came and said unto him, Sir, didn't thou not sow good seed in thy field? From whence then hath it tares? He said unto them, An enemy hath done this. The servant said unto him, Will thou then that we go and gather them up? But he said, Nay, lest while you gather them, the growth of their ears. Oh, where are we at here? Oh, I got lost. Oh, man. I totally lost my place. Lest while you... Okay, but he said, Nay, lest while you gather up the tares, you root up also the wheat with them. Let both grow together until the harvest. And in the time of harvest, I will say to the reapers, Gather you together first the tares, and bind them in bundles to burn them, and gather wheat into my barn. And so here we go. He's talking about the wheat and the tares, the heathen and the children of Israel growing together. And let the harvest be at the end when they hear his voice the second time. So here we can clearly see, as we're going through this prophecy, that not only does Yahushua fit this bill, but he taught this very message. Taught the exact same thing. Telling you that they're going to dwell together. Let the wheat and the tares grow together, like the wolf and the lamb, and the leopard and the kid, and the calf and the young lion. Opposites. And the harvest will be at the end. And then it says, The envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim. This once again is Yahushua. I have another of my fold that must hear my voice. This is them. This is Ezekiel 37. The two sticks join together, Judah and Ephraim, and bind them together. We'll just read it. This is Ezekiel 37. Moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick and write upon it, for Judah and for the children of Israel, his companions. Then take another stick and write upon it, for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim, and for all the house of Israel, his companions, and join them one to another into one stick, and they shall become one in thy hand. And when the children of thy people shall speak unto thee, saying, Wilt thou not show us what thou meanest by these? Say unto them, Thus saith Yahuwah Elohim, Behold, I will take the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim, and the tribes of Israel, his fellows, and will put them with him, even with the stick of Judah, and make them one stick, and they shall be one in my hand. And the sticks whereon thou writest shall be in thy hand before their eyes. And say unto them, Thus saith Yahuwah Elohim, Behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, whither they be gone, and will gather them on every side and bring them into their own land. This is the exact same thing we're reading in chapter 11. Ezekiel chapter 11. Or Isaiah 11. He's describing the same thing. This Messiah, Yahushua, taught this very same thing. John 10, we read it just a few minutes ago. About, I have another fold, and they shall hear my voice. His rest is glorious. He's resting right now. But they shall fly. This is when they come together. He set up an insignia. He's gathering the outcasts of Israel. Ephraim and Judah have joined together. And now they shall fly upon the shoulders of the Philistines. This is the second time he has moved his hand. The first time's already happened. We're at the second time he moved his hand. But they shall fly upon the shoulders of the Philistines towards the west. They shall spoil them unto the east together. They shall lay their hand upon Edom and Moab, and the children of Ammon shall obey them. And Yahuwah shall utterly destroy the tongue of the Egyptian sea. The English language, it's going down. Spiritual Egypt. That language is going to be proven to be an empty language. It's the Hebrew tongue. And with his mighty wind shall he shake his hand over the river, and shall smite it in the seven streams, and make men go over dry shod. And there shall be a highway for the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, like as it was to the Israel in the day that he came up out of the land of Egypt. This is huge. This is going to be massive, bigger than the first time, which is Jeremiah 23. They shall no longer call me Yahuwah, which brought them up out of Egypt, but Yahuwah, which brought them up out of the north country, and whatever country I had driven them out of. Because this work is going to be magnificent. And it all starts with an insignia from him laying his hand a second time. A second time. We're in that time now, brothers and sisters. This stuff is manifesting before our eyes. It will not be long before we have squeezed that map and we have located the Ark of the Covenant. This insignia that he's going to set up for the nations. So if he has set his hand a second time and we can identify that time now, then that means he's already set his hand a first time. And it was 2,000 years ago with a man named Yahushua. They just misinterpret a small portion of it. And because it does not reflect what they think it says right here, they say he could not have been the Messiah. But I think with the wheat and the tares, and with understanding that this is a prophecy about Gentiles, it's actually talking about the Gentiles coming together and us dwelling together. And so I hope this helped. All glory to Yahuwah. Thank you for your son, Yahushua. Thank you for your glorious work that you did. Loving the Father the way you did. You are the light, and we're going to follow you. And these prophecies prove his work. And so the next one's going to be in Zechariah. It's another big one that on face value, it has the appearance like it can't be Yahushua, but we're going to dive into it. And so I love you guys. See you at the next one.